the right amount of knowledge, good memory, as well as also to be able to sustain the pressure of be it performance, examination performance, and everything. So every teenager's day must be happily divided into doing a lot of physical activities, doing a lot of academic activities, because this is the age where there's nothing much given. But also, there should be a lot of involvement at home. This is the time where parents should show a very transparent relationship between them and the teenager, so that the teenager is able to enjoy taking up responsibility. So I'm saying not just yoga, do even other things. So can't we spare an hour for yoga? Well, what will be the benefits? Because somebody was saying that no, when there is no time now, I want my child to study for all the time, so there's no time, I can't even spare this 1 hour or half an hour. Maybe some parents are telling, maybe some children will give such an excuse. Probably this is time for us to say that it is a proven research that if you have yoga, which is so therapeutic, like a habit, you will not be able to sit down to study till you've done your entire yoga program that you have felt good about. It is like a small program that you build for yourself. It could be 45 minutes or 1 hour. Now, how many of you will believe, good yoga practitioners who are participating in this forum will believe that this takes care of, it gives us like a coating or a protection for 24 hours. So if you do specific techniques in yoga, you will find that your memory is enhanced better. You will be able to, take a lot more in a shorter duration of time. You'll be much better off than just sitting and cramming in front of your books. So it's about doing yoga with the entire acceptance of, this is my time to commit myself, not only for asanas, through my body to my mind, where pranayama will also be able to help you to energize and oxygenate the frontal lobe of your brain. So once this is done, then you will be able to sit down and conquer your academics faster than anyone who is not doing it. So having said that, I'm actually trying to tell every teenager that it's not only when you have exams. Let every day's routine be a well accepted schedule for you. Let it be something which is a combination of several things put together. Some amount of fun, some amount of acceptance of how your body is behaving, how you're learning to have this good control of yourself. So an hour of yoga will definitely be the most beneficial thing for you to do. Most of you probably like gymming, some of you like Zumba. Make it all available for you. Nothing should be excessively done, is yes, something that I will say, so that you can distribute your time much better now that you have the pressure of examinations.
Yeah, and likewise, sports, as we have seen. So I think it's good to encourage children to play any sports which they like. It could be cricket, football, and lot many. And it can be a recreation, or it can also be a professional stream. So many of them have this confusion: if they're good at sports, should we allow them to get this, or should we allow them to continue racing through the exams? So at every level, parents have to really demarcate and try to understand the potential of the student, and then probably take decisions, keeping the students or the child's perspective also in mind, which many times we probably forget, that we think, no, he's too young, and probably we decide for it, may not work all the time. So any nutritional suggestions, Dr. Geeta, for this age group?
The first and foremost thing is that the involvement of junk, does it happen only in the start of teenage? Then trust me, what we have done as parents is we have hidden all the junk from them. Let's expose and provide an experience and exposure of all kinds of food, and discuss what is good and what is bad. I'll give you a very simple example. If there is a home where at least 4 times in a week food is bought from outside, trust me, children in such homes, they do not find taste for food which is cooked with more nourishment and nutrition at home. But even this is a habit. Like I was telling you, everything are formation of habits. If our children are very used to, we develop a habit of giving them home cooked food. Yes, it's our responsibility to make it well, cook it well, but home cooked food, then you'll find that their ability to manage a good balance between when should they eat and how much to indulge in junk is something that they are very aware of. They are so not just smart, but they are so correct in their way of, taking care of themselves. And a big group of teenagers know how to do it. I'll proudly say that. But having said that, when we talk about nourishment and nutrition, this is not the age. Right from childhood, as parents, we should take the responsibility of introducing everything that is healthy and nutritious into our child's diet. This is which will bring in the idea of it's nice to eat. Children must enjoy food, and they must believe that in everything they can find something nice, something good to enjoy the taste. Otherwise, we have a big group who will say things like, no, in vegetables, I don't eat this. So I'll ask, okay, what are the vegetables that you eat? And then they'll talk about just the two vegetables. And do you know that we have parents who just cook these two vegetables at home, saying that at least then he will eat it or she will eat it. So haven't we made our mistakes? I think that's where we go wrong, because let's introduce our kids to everything that is healthy and nutritious. That is definitely something that is going to bring about a good knowledge of, enhancing taste buds, enjoying different tastes. And another thing, when we talk about nutrition among teenagers, please let them be involved in making something which is nutritious. Let them also try to connect with us and explain about what they're trying to do and how they're trying to do. Again, here, well, it's not something which they will be wasting time with, but trying out these things is going to be the best encouraging way for them to start taking interest in this aspect of life. Nourishment and nutrition is always something that is interesting when it comes to diet. So it has to always be interesting. It cannot always be very boring because it is always only about nutrition. So let's encourage these teenagers to do a lot of things themselves, both boys and girls. Today, they're so nice. I know a big group of boys and girls who like going into the kitchen. They say, I do it when my parents are not around. Why? I think it's required that we should tell them that, hey, good, if you're going to cook for all of us. But we parents, if we are trying to say that, no, go study. Let's make a schedule so beautiful that it is well balanced through the day. So now we know that if our child is in the kitchen, fair enough. This child is decided that this much time I'm going to spend. So one is that in our culture, it's very nice that we mothers always want to, we are very giving. We always want to see that we've provided for our children. That's a beautiful approach. But then let it be that our children are able to understand what is in this giving, what is happening in this transaction. Let the relationship grow much more stronger. Let it not be taken for granted. And how does that come from? That comes from the transparency that we can maintain, which I was talking about, that harmony at home. This is most important. And in teenage, you will find that we don't even have to talk in loud voices. Everybody is trying to comfort each other. And that's when we understand not only our own emotions, also understand others' emotions. So there are 4 things actually in emotional management. So when one is about becoming aware of our own emotions and becoming aware of others' emotions. and trying to manage our own emotions and trying to manage others' emotions. And it starts at home because we have very small, there's not much traffic, no? We have very small nuclear families, in fact, these days. So when we are a super hit here at home, trust me, outside, we are just superheroes, our teenagers. It can be very, very nicely balanced, and they will not be in any kind of a trouble. But yes, if at all they have any kind of an issue, parents, we need to first understand them instead of being judgmental. Secondly, try and see that we do not give our perspective, when we were of your age, this is what we did, because that is not going to work. And another thing is that if you yourself have a doubt, then trust me, please take professional help, because then you'll find that you've just, that stitch in time, you've just nipped the bud, and we've not let it become a huge issue or a huge burden. It's not going to become an emotional trouble. So that's all about that mental hygiene that I was talking about. It has to be consistently there. So how we take care of dental hygiene, for example. Similarly, it's an everyday affair. So mental hygiene cannot be now because it is teenage, now because my child is becoming very rebellious, getting angry at the drop of the hat. We understand that everything, there is a consistent change. Even during adulthood, personality changes is happening. So we're all, like I said, we're all going through a lot of changes. The food we eat brings about so much of change. You'll all agree with me that some food can make us extremely restless, some food can make us extremely fatigued, and some food can make us, more energetic and active. So everything has a role to play, but this is the master. If once this is in control, then life is just so beautiful.
Yeah, very beautifully woven thoughts, I would say, Dr. Geeta. And in this whole in the last 1 hour, I think we've even overshot 1 hour. So a lot of takeaways, especially on the problems we face, and we've openly discussed. Many of them are agreeing, and there have been two questions even in the chat box talking about the same. I think both are related to discipline. But one is saying that, okay, he was 8-year-old and we thought, we continued disciplining. He's 14, but there's still no change. So will he change in future is the question.
Okay. So probably you're talking about a specific issue. And here I will need to say that let's address it again specifically. I don't want you to discuss it in an open forum, irrespective of whether you give your name or not. But this is very specific to your child. And when you're talking about, you've been trying to conduct him or her in a certain manner, right from his or her age of 8, you said. And till now you haven't seen the change. My suggestion to you is that you'll have to make the right identification of what is going wrong and where is it that this child is not able to connect with what you are trying to say, and what and how much he or she is not being aware of. If you're not able to manage that at home and it is becoming a concern for both of you parents, then please take help, because I don't want you to feel miserable about, hey, my child is not having this particular aspect of discipline that you're talking about. I can understand it's probably related to one or two specific kind of behavior pattern or habits.
Yeah, it's at similar lines. There's another question which is talking about discipline, but for a good reason. They're trying to check if there can be a comparison made. If somebody is doing something good in disciplining himself, like doing sport activities or yoga, can they take that particular action which the student is taking up to compare with his kid who's probably not doing up, just to inspire? So do you think this is one of the right approaches, or not so?
Comparison is an absolute waste of our whole speech. So it will become like the word is called, the lay word is called gyan. Stop giving me gyan, ma, is what
Correct.
I believe one of my clients was telling me, is what she hears from her son. So, comparison. See, when we, right from a very, very early age, in most home cultures, what we do is we start talking about, even in our stories, we start talking about the hero, the character, and constantly, what is in our mind, at the back of our mind, that I wish my child picks up all these qualities of this character. But you know what? Your child is enjoying the story. Every child likes to hear stories, just enjoying the story. All the awe factor is about everything. It could be about the negative character and the positive character. So when the intellectual development is happening in our children, then you understand that the takeaway from every story, every character, is something that he or she is building up as core values within himself or herself. So when you compare, you are at a loss, because they're trying to make an idea about, hey, this is who my father is and mother is. So we are not that. We love our kids. And when we love our kids, this comparison that we are doing is basically showing our insecurity and showing our insufficiency, that I will call his name and her name and so many people into your plate, and see, this is how you can also change, like this people and that person. No. If you find that your child has started following a certain personality, then let your child talk. And when your child is talking, listen and find out what is it that your child is relating to. And that way you can see that they're your inputs in terms of constructs. Because what are we trying to do by talking about other personalities, doing this comparison with other children? What we are trying to do is, we are just at the end of this whole story, we are trying to just see that our child imbibes these characteristics. So until and unless our child is convinced, this child will not start developing those characteristics, right? So hence comparison is a waste. It's a waste of the style in which we are trying to bring about the change. Your whole approach, that we want our child to change, we want this positive thing to happen, is wonderful, done. But then this comparing, believing that by telling about him, her and all of that, maybe our child will also start doing the same, it will not happen. Because already what the child is doing is, the child is sitting and comparing. Now, oh, like if it's a mother, then, oh, my mother is constantly always comparing. So already, it has shifted and moved out of those important people whom you were trying to highlight. So highlighting somebody as important is not required in the entire process of developing or grooming our children. That is not required.
And also children, when you talk to them, you clearly see that they are not very interested in what you're saying when you try and compare them to somebody else to them. Correct.
True.
So I think the long session today, Dr. Geeta, and wonderful insights. People definitely will have a lot of questions. So you can all reach out to us or to Dr. Geeta. We'll help you reach out to Dr. Geeta. You can contact the support desk at Vivekananda Health Global. So overall takeaways, I think, were very, very specific, and I would say that I would probably feel and resonate if I'm sure the others would also resonate if I say that they had a lot to understand and also a lot to probably change for themselves and their children. Because right attitude in parents to bring in the home system, as you were talking about, and being a part of the dream of our child is something which we as parents should do. We should allow them to dream big and be a part of their dreams, as well as make them part of our dreams, because we are also people still, not very old. We still have a lot
going through transition.
So
right.
Coexistence, I think, matters a lot nowadays, and most of them who have attended here, or like both of us, all of us are professionals. So likewise, the game at home continues, but then I think the reciprocation from either ends is also very, very important. So thanks a lot, Dr. Geeta, for your time, and really appreciate your efforts during these last few decades of your practice. And we look forward to meeting you again, and we'll continue working with you in future as well. So thank you very much. Thank you everyone who joined us.
Thank you. Thank you.
Namaste. Good day to you.
Good evening.
Good day to everyone. Thank you.
Bye.